Hello everybody, this is Jurassic Adventures, and in today's video I will be repainting this Roar Strikers Megaraptor into the Jurassic Park Warpath version. Now, the Megaraptor appears in Jurassic Park Warpath not like this, but actually as just a Megaraptor, a big velociraptor, and it has a few skins. There's one that looks like the normal Jurassic Park Raptor, there's one that's sort of a yellowish green, and then there's one that's sort of a dark gray and black, and that is the one we'll be doing. I'll put a picture of it right on the screen here. But personally, I think this Megaraptor, even though it is not just a big raptor like the one in Warpath, will really paint up perfectly with that paint scheme, because this is kind of lacking as it is. Without further ado, let's get this thing right out of the box. Just as a little overview of this thing, if you pop in the tail like so, it will just attach in, you can't remove it, and then it does this cool action feature, which if you press it down, it will bite. But I'm going to remove the batteries and then start prepping the figure for repainting. This figure barely has any articulation, so the only things we're going to have to cut down are these arms right here, and then just a little bit of this sort of region where the neck goes down. For priming, we are not actually going to use gray primer, we're going to use black. That is a bit of a shocker, I know, but because this thing is mostly a dark color, I'm just going to use the black primer to get it already really ready. The first thing we're going to do to this Megaraptor is take some anthracite gray, which is sort of a bluish gray. It's very dark, and we're just going to dry brush over the entirety of the figure with that. With the dry brushing done, now what we're going to do is airbrush a little bit of some light purple on the underbelly and around the body as just some accent. Now that the purple is done on the Megaraptor, we're going to take some orange and start really building up all those patterns with the brush. And this thing is not meant to be completely accurate to the Warpath one, just inspired by it, but we're using a little bit of that sort of Ted Brothers rule of cool on this thing and really making it a lot cooler than the actual design. I just got done the patterning in orange on this Megaraptor with the brush, and it looks very nice. A lot of sharp lines and different sort of weird random patterns that really just make this thing look super neat. But now what we're going to do is do just a little bit more dry brushing. We're going to take some light gray and dry brush over all of these ridges and also those feathers. Now that we have all those light gray pieces done, we're going to spray the inside of those orange patterns with some yellow ochre, because on the original design it kind of has sort of like a goldy metallic look, but it's not actually metallic. It just has a lot of different highlights and shadings in orange and yellow. So we're going to try and capture that. Now that the orange yellow is airbrushed on there, I'm just taking some light yellow ochre and putting it on a few of these scales to give it a little bit more color variation and just to highlight some of them. With those little highlights done, we're just going to go in with some red and we're going to start painting in that mouth. Now that I have the entire mouth coated in this light pinkish red, including the teeth, I can go in and just pick out all of those teeth with a little bit of bone white. Now that we have the teeth and mouth looking great, we can just go over it with a brown ink. With the mouth done on the figure, we can now move into the claws, and the claws will be a dark brown starting out. After I base coated the claws in that dark brown, I went over it with a lighter brown, and now what I'm going to do is highlight it with a bit of dark gray. So what I'm going to do is just kind of splotch a few spots on there, and it's going to give it almost a sort of chipped look. With the claws done, now we just have to do the eyes. I already base coated the eyes in that orange color from earlier, and now what I'm going to do is just add a lot more detail into them. The first step for the eyes is just highlighting the inside with a little bit of lighter orange. Then I took a really fine detail brush and made some tiny little dark brown lines and striations inside the eye. With that done, I moved into the final step before painting the pupil, and that is just giving the pupil an outline in some yellow ochre. Then of course I did the pupil in some black. Then of course the last step for the eye is just to paint in that tiny little white light catch. And then the final step of course is just glossing up the eyes and the mouth with a little bit of gloss varnish. And that, guys, is it for the Jurassic Park Warpath Megaraptor Repaint. I think this one turned out really great, and it really transformed this figure from such a bland design to something really awesome. I mean, the sculpt was already amazing, but this paint job just took it to the next level. But that, guys, is it for this repaint video. If you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. This is Jurassic Adventures, and I'll see you in the next video.